So, have you guys heard of The Witcher Blood Origin?
I've heard of it.
I heard it's great, fantastic, great reviews. I've heard.
Excellent. Some of the
Right.
in the opposite land on opposite day. It's had,
Bizarro World.
right. It's had great reviews. I've heard that they've managed to take what is a property that's really well liked by the consumer base and fuck it all up.
Just muddle the fucking water.
It's like they had all the opportunity in the world to just procure all this gold that was in front of them, but instead what they decided to do was ball up their hands and just punch themselves in the dick repeatedly.
That sounds very stupid.
It doesn't sound like it
Why
was
would
the
you do that?
smartest thing, because the first season, which is the one where Geralt is like the main character, Henry
Yeah,
Cavill,
yeah.
that season did phenomenal.
It did, yeah.
And people were really, really stoked about it. Obviously, it got consumed on a level that really brought out multiple seasons of renewals.
Mm-hmm.
The last season didn't have Cavill as much.
More of a cameo.
Seemed like Cavill took it somewhat, I don't know if personal's the way to say it, but I just think he thought like there was no point in resigning himself to a secondary role.
Well, I think he did take it a little personal because he is a big Witcher fan. He plays the Witcher. That's why he took that role.
I'm not okay. Well, okay, let's put it out. I'm not so sure he took it personally that he wasn't in the show as much, but I think he took it personally. You're right, as they started to deviate from canon.
Yeah.
Which obviously, when you start to do that, you start to just snub your nose at the fan base.
Absolutely.
And the fans, they're the ones that brought you to the dance.
Absolutely.
And you start to look down your nose at them and say, no. I understand that you think that the guy who made this is exceptionally creative and you love what he did, but I think I'm more creative than him, so you just shut up and sit over there and fucking tell me how my stuff's good.
Damn!
And well, that seems like what happens when you take someone else's intellectual property that has a fan base already built into it. You're not building a fan base. You've got a fan base built in. That's how you got off the ground. You wouldn't have got off the ground if you would have been Dave Blood Origins. Nobody gives a shit about Dave or what Dave's doing, right?
Right.
Like, it was the Witcher franchise, the video games, the books that got them to this point. Then you kind of snub your nose at it and say like, but we have better ideas. And you wonder why fans push back on things like that.
Well, yeah, because you take this lore and then you're like, I don't really like this lore. I'm going to rewrite it, and then you wonder why the fans are kind of upset that your show sucks.
And then not just you rewrote it and the fans are upset and they by default think that your show sucks because of that. You rewrote it and your shit sucks. So you couple those two things together in a nice. It's a nice sandwich. Well, it's not three things, but it's a nice sandwich of shit.
Shit, bad writing. We'll make it 3 here by the end of this video.
We'll make it 3 by saying that then when they do tell you that you've ruined the canon and the shit you came out with was garbage, then you add to the trifecta, as I saved my friend.
Thank you.
And you come out and say everybody's review bombing picking on you again. Right. The world's picking on you because what you did is garbage.
Right. The fans are picking on you. I wonder why.
Fans wouldn't have cared. If you would have came out with something that was legitimately viable, if they thought, man, this is so palatable, I'm enjoying this so much.
Right.
I really wish they wouldn't have deviated from the canon, but you know what? It's so good that I can whisk away in the entertainment, lose myself to it, and think this is also a great derivative of the canon. I'm good enough with it. You know what? Positive review. I enjoyed it, watched it all the way through. But they're not doing that. Like they're not saying that the entertainment value was there. What they're saying was you took the canon and you screwed it up. You removed Gareth from it. Everybody liked him.
Geralt, yeah.
Geralt, that's it. Right, my mistake. See, you're saving me too. And then on top of that, you got bad reviews because it wasn't entertaining. And then you pushed back and said, well, it's not our fault. You're mean to us. You're purposely doing this. They don't call it review bombing when you get good reviews.
That's right, they don't. I wonder why they don't.
When you get a plethora of good reviews and everybody comes out and tells you how phenomenal things are, tip of a cap, my lady, to all the good stuff that you've done, people don't go, well, it's all fanboys giving good reviews. But when it's bad, you all of a sudden have to find some villain and some reason why you can't take accountability for just maybe not being entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. Like bad storytelling is number one. The funny thing is, it's got legendary epic reviews, but if you actually go into the Netflix site, it gives it a 5 out of 5 star review.
It's got the worst, apparently. Now, again, this is just what I've heard, but I would imagine this is easily verifiable. It's got the worst reviews of a Netflix original show ever.
Yes,
So
ever.
that's pretty bad. Now I would imagine that's user reviews and not critic reviews, because critics are they're
They're in people's pockets. You get paid.
exactly. You're having these studios give you a bunch of, like you're getting pre-screenings of things.
Absolutely.
You're getting a lot of gratuities, I imagine, and your career is somewhat predicated on making sure that you grease the hand.
No, exactly. If you're an influencer, right? If they come to you and they're like, here's $10,000, give it a good review. You're not going to turn that down.
And I'm not sure they do that, but they probably let you know there's a lot of jobs on the horizon for you in the future. If you make sure you take care of us now, we'll take care of you and your cohorts in the future. So make sure that just because this didn't turn out as well as we hoped, that you go and tell everybody that it was totally good, you enjoyed it. Don't pay any attention to the miscreants over there giving us bad reviews. And I would say that the fans are the ones that you're actually pandering to, and you did a shitty job. But like I said, instead of just scooping the gold, you decided to dick punch yourself
That's right.
a whole bunch of times and then come out and claim bullying.
Bullying, right? You know what? The one thing I didn't like about the Witcher series, because I love the Witcher. I played the games, all that.
Yeah, you've been saying that, right? I like Cavill, and I played the first game, but
Dude, Cavill's
I'm
great.
not as deep in the lore as everybody else,
Right.
and I'll admit that right off the hop.
Yeah.
That this is something that I'm reviewing the overarching critiques of things. I'm not reviewing this series. You know what? There's probably fans out there of it, and kudos to those people if you do like it. It just seems that the masses, for the most part, the people who you are catering to, paying customers, they don't seem to like it.
Well,
Sorry.
yeah, no, that's fine. But The Witcher, if anybody's read the books or play the games, what's the number one thing in The Witcher? You hunt monsters. The show, I watched, like, the series, the Netflix. Dude, there's, in the first season, I think there's 2 monsters. At the very first scene, you see, he fights a monster, kills it. And I don't think he fights another monster until, like, the end of the season. And Geralt of Rivia, he's a monster hunter. That is his thing.
I know, yeah.
He's, like, hundreds of years old. He has his
And
powers.
And I don't want to get off on a political thing because we're not really here to do that. We're obviously a comic book store. Go over to BigBeaverComics.com if you like comic books, toys, all that kind of stuff. But for a small deviation into politics, they do seem like they're really up their own ass about their agendas.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
And that's fine, but I mean, you're going to have to live and die on that cross.
Right, don't wonder why your show's getting bad reviews.
Don't wonder why. If you want to be divisive about the way you think people should think and telling a bunch of people, these are the things that are going to make you want to watch, and none of them are based around actually entertaining topics. They're based around political beliefs or social political beliefs.
Yeah.
That's fine. You're allowed to do that. But 5 years from now, when you have no career and no 100 million, 20 million, whatever it is, dollar budget from a major studio because you don't actually turn over tickets at the gate where it matters, bad reviews don't sell things. Bad reviews end up making YouTube videos about you, but we're a couple of clowns. Nobody cares what we think. You were supposed to come up with something good that gave you a bunch of front-loaded quality content. All you had to do was flip through the stuff and be like, that would make a great scene in a show, wouldn't it? And instead you were like, I refuse to look, and I'm going to just keep punching myself in the dick because I hate money. And so kudos to you for taking something that should have been a layup and finding a way to foul out of the game. I'm not entirely sure how you did that.
I don't know
Instead
how.
of a layup, you just turned around and clotheslined the ref and then took your pants off and started to cry.
Now, do you think that's the smartest move in the game? You could have done Netflix. Writers over there,
Right,
Blood Origin.
forget about even the Witcher. Netflix, are you going to keep doing this? You're down 50% stock price year over year. Do you have shareholders to answer to? What are these quarterly reports starting to look like? These earnings calls must start to get pretty brutal because you're going to have a lot of people asking questions as to why you're allowing this to go on. Mm-hmm. And for me, for someone who is thinking about investing in your company looks like a political shit show right now. It doesn't look like an entertainment company.
No,
And I think,
dumpster fire.
I think what we've all learned in the last year is that Top Gun can avoid itself from just devoid of any type of political jargon. Let's get down to just allowing people to escape their regular lives for a couple hours and get whisked away into fantasy land where Tom Cruise just rock and rolls in a jet plane.
That's right. Isn't that all about escapism and storytelling? Is not to be able to put reality.
And I don't care what your ideologies are.
No,
I don't want to hear anybody's fucking opinion on it.
No.
What I want to do is I want to be entertained. I want to look at your fiction and I want to say, damn, my real life is such a drag, but this here is so good. I want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Nobody inadvertently punch themselves in the dick.
Well, that'd be a good year for everybody, but the way the trend is going, it looks like there's a lot of dick punching in the future.
You can only lose so much money, right? And eventually things are going to have to turn course.
People are going to have.
And what we don't want to do is, and let's say this as well. What we don't want to do is we don't want to have a drastic rebound back the other way either. Can we find some happy middle ground where we get back to realizing that entertainment is exactly that? It's escapism.
Yeah.
It's entertainment. It's not a place for your personal agenda, whatever that happens to be, unless your agenda is to take your source material and entertain your audience the best you possibly can. If that's your agenda, fucking flex in that arena.
Yeah.
Anything that has to do with how you feel personally about the world at large, just shut the fuck up.
Stuff those feelings deep down.
Be a man about it. And bury your feelings. You're not allowed to have feelings in this business.
No.
So I think to wrap it up, Cavill obviously on his way out. He went off with a nice send-off. Cast members seemed to be very happy for what Henry did for them. Brought a lot of credibility to a show right off the hop. Got a lot of eyes on there. Eyes they obviously squandered. And then after he quit, because he quit, obviously what happened was they started to get blowback.
Turned that man that stabbed in the back.
Started to get some blowback for Blood Origin. He didn't come out and say that it was a big deal with the canon and say he wasn't making a big deal. A lot of people are inferring they think what Henry believes. And I think we were doing that a little bit at the beginning of this. But just a little bit, because we do think we know. But he didn't want to come out and he still wanted, I'm sure, his castmates to make a living and go out and try to make the best product they could. But what ended up happening was then all of a sudden an anonymous Reddit poster came out and said Henry Cavill was acting a little cavalier on the set with his co-stars and this and that. And that he didn't actually quit. He was fired. And there was a lot of things that, they're trying to disparage him because you leave, we're getting bad reviews. What a good way to deflect. But to start pointing the fingers at you and go, well, what about this bad man over here? What about bad man over here? Like, forget about us whacking our right. What about bad man?
Exactly.
And what about Batman?
What about Batman?
Right.
Hey,
Make better content, and you wouldn't have people on the internet shitting on it. You'd have us sitting here telling people to go watch it.
If you don't believe our opinions, go watch the 10 Reasons Why You Should Watch Blood Origins on the Netflix YouTube channel and see if those are good reasons enough to go watch that show.
I looked at those reasons, and none of them sounded like reasons that I was going to be entertained for.
No, you know what it was? 10 Reasons Why You Should Dick Punch Yourself.
How many episodes is it? Was it 10 or 8?
I think they're on 4 right now, because it's every Wednesday.
So you're asking people to make a 30-minute or an hour commitment
I think it is.
Hours and hours and hours based off things that you can't even define why any of that would be entertaining for 2 minutes, let alone entertaining for an hour.
Right.
Like, is this your first rodeo doing this? You guys got to get better. Witcher, Blood Origins, and Netflix, shape the fuck up.